I didn't think he'd accept the invitation. He's never been the friendlier type, even when we knew each other. You sigh, fidgeting with your clothing. You tan your lapels, you flatten your skirt. Hey, ho, ha. I mean, both of these apply regardless of your gender. Lapel? Your jacket is soft to the touch. Its feel on your fingers, gentle in the way only familiar clothing can be. Your fingertips glide on the lapels, moving past your thundering heartbeat and fixate for the fourth time since you've entered the bar. You check your pocket one more time and find it as it was the first time. Everything is in its place. I'm fine. This is fine. You're going to be okay. You take a deep breath and open your eyes. He's here. You hear him before seeing him. The bell above the shop chimes brightly before you hear the telltale sound of someone crashing into someone else. Oi! Watch it! You hear some rush apologies and the door closing gently before he steps into view. The warm afternoon sun of late September paints him in a golden glow as he goes up to the counter to order. You turn your gaze back to your table, in the far back of the bar. A hopeless endeavor, since your eyes drift right back to him, almost as if pulled by a magnet. He's still at the counter, most likely waiting for his order, and his gaze lazily wanders the rest of the bar before finding yours and nodding in greeting. He recognized you. You shudder a bit as he shoots the bartender a quick smile as he hands them a bill before turning to walk your way with a steaming mug. You look him up and down before he sits right in front of you. He looks exactly like you thought he would. You don't know whether to feel relieved or uneasy. He catches your eye and smirks. What? Like what you see? What if I do? Don't flatter yourself. Wouldn't you like to know? Oh, I want to be sassy, but and what if I do? Marcelo splutters. He looks at you incredulously for a second, before coughing and turning away, the tips of his ears red. He gingerly gathers himself. You continue watching him as he settles in and dumps 2 packets of brown sugar in his mug, the deep scent of coffee rising from it as he stirs it. He takes a tentative sip from his cup, his expression smoothing out to a relaxed one as he takes a bigger sip. Your hands wrap around your own beverage. It's coffee, it's tea, it's water. I'ma have some coffee. The small mug it came in is delicately detailed with a robin perched on a string that's looped on the other side. The paint there is a little chipped. You take a quick sip, its warm aroma of cocoa and chestnuts enveloping your mouth, leaving the pleasant aftertaste of bitter chocolate. No wonder they give you a complimentary chocolate in it. Your companion assesses your choice of drink from the rim of his. See, your usual hasn't changed. There's a hint of mockery in his tone. You haven't changed up much either. Like you can talk. You call that coffee? You haven't changed up much either. You look at him through your lashes. It's good to see you. He coughs. You know, I love how I'm the one making him like flustered here. Like, Jesus Christ. Thank you for coming. I didn't think you would. Well, you asked. You've never been one to do as you were asked to, though. He shrugs his shoulders.
I've been told I've mellowed out.
Hey, yo, he sounds Portuguese. He hesitates a bit.
I don't know how much you remember about high school, but it wasn't the best time for me.
Is that Lixian? Swear to God, it kind of sounds like Lixian. He laughs, but it sounds strained.
I guess ancient Greek and Latin will do that to a man.
You chuckle lightly, and his laughter fizzles out as he turns his attention back to this mug. You clear your throat. Yeah, about changes. What do you go by at the moment? He looks at you, confused. The same as what you knew me back in high school, and what you called me in your letter. Marcelo. He takes a breath. So, what do you go by now? Oh, no, it's a question. I go by Should I just go with Markiplier? You can call me Mark E. Nope, not Markiplier. Mark E. Plier. He sneers. I see. So we're both using the same names as we used last week when you contacted me. Mark E. Plier. Oh man, I gotta make this a bit. I have got to make this a bit. How shocking. You give him a withering look. Do you still use the same surname? Why wouldn't I? You think I'd stop coming to a date if I was already married or something? I'm not that kind of man. It could be something else. You could be a widower. You could be a widower, not a date. Could be something else. Like, you could be in witness protection. And I'd tell you if I was in witness protection. Wait, that's Marcelo. And I'd tell you if I was in witness protection. Besides, I'm too young to be a widower. If that even figures in your something else. We're the same age! My point still stands. He smiles smugly at you.
In any case, I'm the same Marcello Taglio you've known in high school.
Ah, Marcello.
Well, approximately. Change is inescapable after all.
I should ask him. It's what I'm here for after all. What did you end up doing after high school anyway? You were always quick for a fight. Is that still the case? What'd you end up doing after high school? We kinda lost contact. Marcello shrugs, looking uncomfortable. As I mentioned, high school was not my peak. He grits his teeth. I suppose I should apologize for our lack of contact. Despite saying so, no apology comes forth. He doesn't want to apologize, it seems. Relationships of any kind go both ways. If you're guilty of that, I am as well. This is without taking into account how abrasive he was during the last period we spent together. Not many will want to reconnect after that. Well, except me, I guess. You smile wryly. He mirrors you. As for what I did after, I had quite the big change of direction. I went to a fashion school to study accessories design. He smiles, proud. I was renting a place in the city for it and stayed a bit after as well. I've only recently come back, a few days ago now. It's how I got your letter in the first place. My nonno gave it to me. Well, that explains the reason for the delay in reply. But yeah, I can make all sorts of pretty accessories, but my favorites are shoes. I love being able to create intricate designs for something that will get used and worn often. I love being able to make things that people will find familiarity and comfort in, but also reliability. These cufflinks here, I made them. I don't think this is a shirt you're supposed to use them on, but they are quite pretty. A pause. He looks at you intently.
I like pretty things.
I wonder. So you're a merchant of sorts. Do you sell meats like on the side? Ah, you work in the fashion industry. Hey, I mean, if he'd like to sell his meat, I would gladly purchase as much meat as he'd like to give me. Oh Lord, Marcello, do you perhaps sell meat on the side?
What?
Oh Lord, Marcello, it's fine, don't worry about it. He's reeling. Wait, did he just flirt with you? Scratch that. It's not important now.
Do I give off that impression that I'm some sort of black market butcher?
Nah, this was too on the nose. This isn't good. Well, you know, your name and surname together. Marcello Taglio. Marcello, oh, you know, like a butcher. Yeah. He looks flabbergasted. An uncomfortable moment passes between the two of you. He coughs.
Isn't that a bit on the nose? Like calling a cannibal Hannibal?
Yeah, I guess. You let out a strangled laugh. You're really bad at this. That's why it's a joke. Yeah, that's it. I brought it back. He coughs again. If you say so. Yeah, I'm unsure if that's a positive here. I'm just a shoemaker. Nothing on this side. Thank you. I mean, you could very well have been using people's skin for the leather. I mean, that's a thing you could do. Are you using skin for leather? Do you want to use my skin for leather? I will gladly let you use my skin for leather. He hums non-committally. The silence that falls subsequently is awkward, only drowned out by the occasional boisterous voice from one of the other patrons. He looks at you, a question evident in his eyes. As he's about to open his mouth, you rush out. Do you have a place you frequent often? So, you come here often? He splutters, surprised and a little flushed. Are you flirting with me? Would you like it if I was? He doesn't answer. He clicks his tongue. It's not nice to tease like this, you know. You chuckle and raise your hands, apologetic. Fine, fine, Diego venir. He shakes his head. Seemingly having regained his cool, Marcello languidly looks you up and down and smirks. Don't you think it's getting hot in here? Ah, maybe it's just you. Now it's your turn to splutter. What was that? It was awful. He burst out laughing. It was, wasn't it? His laughter peters out into a gentle chuckle and you can't help but join him. I thought it was only fair I got to tease you as well. Although with somewhat mixed results on my part.
Well, what do you think, Trottolino amoroso?
That doesn't even work in the context of the song! It's literally called Vatene Amor. Although I suppose that's more of a plea on the singer's side to make parting less of a sorrow. You trail off, aware you've gone a bit off topic. Amused, Marcello shakes his head. I love how an ADHD pill the protagonist is. It's just so funny to see. No, you're free to not follow along with the title of the song.
Stay. I'm enjoying your company, my little PogChamp.
Oh, I'm sorry, but just hearing the voice actor go like, my little PogChamp in such a sultry voice is the greatest part of this visual novel. 10 out of 10 just for that. Oh, Lord. You grip your almost forgotten beverage and down all of what remains from it in one go. You sigh loudly. Sure, whatever. You regain your cool somewhat and eye Marcello warily. He grins, showing sharp teeth. Yeah, what do you like to do at night? Do you have any hobbies? What do you like to do at night? He hums. You mean after work? I mostly finish up the stuff I started during the day. I don't like leaving custom-made stuff halfway and seeing a project to completion. It is very satisfying. So, you like staying late? Only some days. Did you do that last Wednesday too? I don't know. Probably. Wednesdays tend to drag on, most of the time. Were you alone? What? It most likely would be too telling if I asked if he had anyone to confirm his alibi. Are you asking me if there's anyone to confirm my alibi? Damn it! No, I was just worried you'd be lonely by yourself. He gives you a dubious look. I was alone. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. He just hums. The late afternoon is turning into evening, although the bar remains well lit from the warm overhead light. Am I trying to suss out whether he's a serial killer? I thought this was a date, but am I trying to suss out he's a serial killer? This is the final stretch. For better or for worse. Do you have an interest in the human body? Do you have anything else you like doing? I'm gonna go with that. Man, you've been asking a whole lot of questions tonight without letting me get any in. Do you have some sort of agenda here? He says this with an easy grin, but his eyes are sharp. He wants to catch you off guard. You smile easily. If by agenda you mean getting to know you all over again, sure. I was almost going to call it romantic. You sigh wistfully. You're not sure if you're really playing at anything here, though. Who are you trying to fool here? Him? Or yourself? Surprise colors his cheeks in light crimson, which he quickly tries to hide. I see. There's a lull in the conversation. Marcello looks at his empty mug with an almost yearning look on his face. As you look at him, he seems to steel himself or something. The door of the bar opens suddenly. A patron entering too boisterously, and a gust of wind whooshes through the room, the bell tinkling loudly overhead. Cool night air bathes the room. You shudder and look to your companion. He's already looked at you. Mark E. Plier. I want to share with you something that's really important to me. Facing you once more, he clears his throat softly. I really like cooking. I don't know if you remember, but my parents weren't really there that much as I was growing up. When they were always cooking. I was pretty young at the time. Since I got older, it kinda left for good, but cooking always brought me back to those early memories. Well, they haven't left me much. Their love for cooking is like a grease stain I can't get out of my shirt. Inexhaustible. Cooking, being able to create something warm and filling for people you love, is the one thing I love more than anything. You fix the clothing once more, though now it's for an entirely different reason. Both you and Marcello finish your beverages, and a bit of chocolate that came with the coffee. The afternoon is over, and so is your outing with him. As you start to gather your things to leave, you feel a gentle hand on the back of your own. You look up and find Marcello look at you, fidgeting. I had a really good time hanging out with you this afternoon. I did too, Marcello. Thank you again for coming to meet me after such a long time.
My friends call me Marzo.
Marzo. His eyes twinkle as he says it, warm and happy. Is that so? Just your friends? Well then, thank you, Marzo. Just your friends? He coughs, surprised. As of right now, yes. Tomorrow? Who knows? A mischievous smile blooms on his lips. You got anything else to do this evening, Mark E. Playa? Why? Do you have anything in mind? Come with me. I'll show you. Your hand feels warm, and upon closer inspection, you find Marzo's drag you along by it. Your shoes hit the pavement soundly, but without hurry, as you move through the lamplit cobbled streets to a nearby park. Marzo comes to a stop near a thigh-high wall, below which is the silhouette of the sleepy little town you're in resides, and above which stars twinkle brightly. He climbs up on it, legs dangling down next to where you stand, and looks up. I've heard there's some chance of falling stars tonight. Aren't those in August? He shrugs. Maybe those ones were late for roll call. You nod sagely. I see. So we're getting the stragglers. You climb up next to him, press closer to his... I'm gonna press close to his legs! You lean your back on the wall, close to his legs. He chuckles, genuine and unguarded, as you suddenly start feeling very ill. He doesn't know you had a secondary reason for asking to meet. Well, they're primary. Every word he'd said has been recorded on your phone, every laugh, even every hum, and you made sure of it. You can't even look at him. You should leave. A shoe knocks into your leg, and you look up to find Marzo's eyes still on the sky. What's eating at you? It's nothing. Tell you another time. I haven't been completely honest with you. I haven't been completely honest. His eyes don't move from the sky as he sighs. I figured. The truth is, I didn't send you that letter because I wanted to reconnect with you. I was hired as a private investigator to look into the recent murders by the butcher. The victim's family hired me, and a report of the witness that glimpsed the butcher described, well, someone that looked a lot like you. The gentle chirping of the nearby crickets in the park fills the silence between the both of you as Marzo digests what you just told him. The wind rustles and leaves. The wind rustles the leaves, and also warm you shiver. He didn't take his eye off the skies. Finally, he clears his throat.
You suck at your job.
You splutter. I beg your pardon. Then beg. You gape, flabbergasted. Cold fingers reach over and under your chin to close your mouth. Close your mouth, dear. You'll catch flies. You grab his hand. Why are you saying I suck at this job? So unkind of you. You contacted me of what you remembered about me in high school. Set up a weird date/not date to feel out if I was this serial killer. Failed to ask relevant questions in favor of flirting with me, and when you remembered to ask them, they were incredibly on the nose. Well, if you put it like that, sure. Yeah, I wasn't flirting with you. If you put it like that, sure. Just if you put it like that? You stand there, chastised.
You suck at being undercover or subtle.
I'm sure you can't be hopeless at being a PI. Seeing as you're still here, you must have some deductive bones in your body. But putting yourself in that kind of danger for a hunch is just kinda stupid. You look at him and join him in looking to the stars. I didn't come here to be lectured. Tough luck. The stars shine brightly overhead in the relatively dark spot of the city. The only light's a bit dimmer to allow for stargazers and couples a secluded moment to themselves. Your gaze drifts to your companion sitting next to you. He's still not looking at you, but you can see the tip of his ears redden slightly, and he points in the general direction of a bright star. You see that? That's our brightest star in the firmament. The very first to appear after the sun. The first star of every night isn't actually a star, it's a planet, Venus's yellow toxic clouds are incredibly reflective, and their light reaches us first at dusk and leaves us last at dawn. It's the third brightest thing in the sky, after the moon and the sun. He is giving you an out. He deserves honesty from me. You clear your throat. You know, the more I kept talking to you, the more I kind of forgot about my primary mission. Oh! Huh. Detective, that just strengthens my point, you know? Oh, hush. He looks at you, his gaze softening.
For some reason, the brightest star looks brighter when I see it in your eyes.
Hey, ho, 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 Marzo, if you say any more, I'm gonna be losing more than my cool over here. You look away, hands flying to your face. It's wet. What's wet? You're crying. Oh, my face is wet. That's a weird way to tell someone they're crying. His fingers delicately graze your cheek, turning your face towards him. I didn't mean it like that. You're not, slightly flustered and feeling bold. Move it to kiss him. He turns his face and your lips land on his warm cheek.
Easy there, detective. We'll get to that with time, okay?
No! I'd like that.
My. And with a suspect, no less.
Hey, I have my standards, okay? And they are incredibly low.
How unprofessional of you, detective.
You laugh. Quiet down, you. The air is filled with comfortable silence as you settle next to him once more, looking up at the stars. Whether you end up seeing a falling star or not doesn't matter. You found your way back to an old friend, despite the questionable means. You smile at the brightest star and turn to the sky, ending 4. Friendship or more regained. So I'm curious, what happens if I lean into his hand instead? He chuckles warmly and moves it to better hold your cheek, tracing circles on your skin. Feather light.
Detective, if you keep looking at me like that, I might get the wrong idea.
I want you to get the wrong idea! He's teasing you! Maybe I want you to. He hums, his other hand coming up to cup your other cheek. His head dips and places a light kiss on your forehead.
It's settled then.
The air is filled with comfortable silence as you settle next to him once more, looking up at the stars. Whether you end up seeing a falling star or not doesn't matter. You found your way back to an old friend, despite the questionable means. You smile at the brightest star and turn to the sky, ending 4. Friendship or more regained. Okay, so for one of the other endings, like instead of saying I haven't been completely honest with you, you're supposed to just tell him, you're just supposed to brush it off and tell him it's nothing, and tell him another time. He looks at you, inquisitively. Are you sure? Positive. His gaze burns on you as you look away, stomach still churning. I'm just not feeling that well, that's all. You can't even bring yourself to smile. You need to leave. I should go. Yeah, you should. His eyes turn back up to the sky, the easy smile previously on his face now wiped away. A burning shame envelops you. He knows. I'm sorry.
I know.
What?
If you do find it in yourself to talk, you know my address. Take care on your way back.
It's not unkind, but his voice lacks the warmth it previously had. He doesn't offer to walk you back home. Ending 3. Shame. So, for the last 2 endings, we're supposed to accumulate as much suspicion as we can, basically going for all the negative answers. So, the first thing I'm gonna say is don't flatter yourself. This isn't that kind of outing. He straightens up and looks at you sharply. I see. You continue watching him as he settles in and dumps 2 packets of brown sugar into his mug, the deep scent of coffee rising from it as he stirs it. A skip, it's still coffee, that doesn't matter. There's a hint of mockery in his tone. Like you can talk. You call it coffee. He bristles. I'll take my coffee however I like, okay? Don't think I didn't see you picking their bitterest blend. He looks at you, surprised before averting his eyes. Look, it deepens the flavor. You know what? Let's move past this. Thank you for coming. I didn't think you would. Skip. I'm still gonna go with Mark E. Plier, because that'll be incredibly funny. Okay, you could be a widower, not a date. I don't know which one would raise my suspicion more. Apparently this choice doesn't matter, so could be something else, doesn't matter. You were always quick for a fight. Is that still the case? What? I just told you, I mellowed out. God damn it, bring it back! Oh yeah, but I figured you must have something that lets you let off some steam. Like me! Like me! You could use me to let off some steam! And man, do I know how much of it you had. Nice save. Damn it, maybe not. He's still confused or uncomfortable. Yeah, I've been mainly working. During uni, I found out that I enjoyed doing things with my hands. I find it relaxing. Well, I suppose I should say I found out before, since it's why I went to it in the first place. Let's bring it back now. I went to university. Where? I went to fashion school to study accessories design. And we're skipping ahead. Let's see. I'm pretty sure the selling meat one is supposed to raise suspicion, so I'm just gonna click on that and skip ahead. Do you have a place you frequent often? You can see him faltering, the fingers that were toying with his mug stilling. Nonetheless, he relents and hums, thoughtful. I suppose recently I've been staying at the shop mostly. You try not to look too let down. That's all? He eyes you carefully and hums in agreement. I do like walking along the beach and taking a stroll at night, though. The sky is quite beautiful lately. After all, not a cloud. He sighs wistfully, eyes closed. You sigh as well, though it's a lot less wistful and a lot more frustrated. Do you visit any of the bars that are open late, like Coraline's, for example? He shifts in his seat, taken aback. Isn't that where those murders happened? Poor Coraline. She was already pretty anxious as it was, and now with this. But to answer your question, no, I don't. My visits to late-night bars are few and far between. A pause. You know, he chuckles.
This feels a lot less like whatever it is, and more like an interrogation.
I mean, not gonna lie, it is. Apparently, I'm trying to suss out whether you're a serial killer. You smile, but you can't feel it reaching your eyes. Nonsense! You take a sip from your mug. Despite it having long gone to room temperature, it burns. You regain your cool somewhat and eye Marcello warily, and we're skipping ahead. What do you like to do? Wait, we already asked this. Do you have any hobbies? What do you like to do at night? What do you like to do at night? We're skipping this. Do you have an interest in the human body? His eyebrows raise. Like, carnally or yes? You feel your face flush. What? No. He looks appraisingly at your flushed cheeks. Then, yeah, never mind. It was a stupid question anyway. Like in a scientific way, how they're made. Not really. I'm fine just knowing how it works. Don't really need much else. There's a lull in the conversation. Marcello looks at his empty mug with an almost yearning look on his face, and we skip. He's frowning. You get up and look away uneasy.
Alright, that's enough.
You look back at Marcello. He's standing. What do you mean? I was just getting my things to leave. Whoa, boy! He bristles and moves towards you, crowding you to the wall. Your back hits the wall with a dull thud, his arm landing next to your head and blocking your view of the exit. You can't help but sink lower on the wall a bit as you look up at him.
Did you really think I wouldn't realize this little scheme you've been playing? I've been going along with this, only in respect of the friendship we used to share, but you've been asking all sorts of inappropriate, prying and downright bizarre questions. And believe me, it takes a lot to face me.
But he moves away from you. For whatever reason, you feel cold.
I'm going home. Bye. And take care on your way back.
You stare helplessly at the retreating back of your former friend and current mark. You sigh, uneasy. That could have gone better. A pause. Wait, did he threaten me? He wouldn't, would he? I should stick to the well-lit and populated streets just to be sure. The walk home was a brisk one, the air having cooled down significantly from the afternoon. While the streets certainly aren't empty, they're not particularly populated. Last few stragglers, most likely heading back home like you. It is a school night after all. You quicken your pace. Dust had already settled into night as you got on your home street, careful to not be followed. You move the curtain away from your door and unlock it, being careful to lock it twice after you're in. The massive corkboard is exactly as you left it, bits and pieces of clues cluttering your wall. You examine the pieces of evidence you've stuck to your wall consideringly. Try as you fail fitting what you've learned from today's outing to it, you find yourself unable to. The recording of your time with Marcello echoes gently in your empty living room, the sound of his voice tinny from the speakers of your phone. The time period where the butcher started being active doesn't line up with what Marcello told you, all of which could be verified as true via his professor's or colleagues' social media. And it did. He couldn't have been at the first scene of the crime. Maybe it was some sort of copycat, but that still left the first murder, and considering how gory it was, it's unlikely the killer would have accepted a copycat. Still, could be wrong. He could be the butcher. Could he? Let's go with yes first. I should write some sort of memo or expose to give to the police. This feels wrong. There must be something I'm missing. Something that'll make it work. A pause. I need some air. The crisp air of September welcomes you once more as you step outside in the darkness of the evening that's now melting into night. You move along the sidewalk, deep in thought as you crash into someone taller than you. Yeah, I'm so sorry. You quickly move out of the way, making room to let the stranger pass, but they seem rooted to the spot. Found you. You can barely open your mouth to ask before the stranger hits you on the head. I see. I got it all wrong. And everything fades to black. Ending 2. Found. So Marcello isn't the murderer? Right. What if I say no way? The evidence speaks for itself. He wasn't there. That and his apparent interest in things we know for sure the butcher likes. You sigh. Regret sits heavy on your chest. What could have been a genuine effort to reconnect with your past friend ruined so quickly? I probably owe him some apologies. How could you even go about apologizing for this, though? You can't tell him about your job as a private investigator. You don't even know if he's trustworthy enough for this. Although, knowing him, he probably figured it out already. Well, I don't have his phone number, but since he is crashing at his granddad's and our chosen medium of communication seems to be letters, you reach for the pen on your side table. I better get to writing. Ending 1. Apologies. Anyway, that was Otome in Incisis. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. I quite like this. I feel like the visuals were quite well done. In terms of it being a dating sim, I did enjoy that. But in terms of it being like a story that's supposed to be as grisly as it is, I kind of wish that there were like heavier consequences than the ones we've actually seen so far. But I still liked it. I still liked the game for what it was. But anyway. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.